What's good, YouTube? And get to the merch, John. For once, one of the most requested Yu-Gi-Oh! Updates on my channel is around the merch and the Yu-Gi-Oh! Adidas. When will the release be in the US? Well, it actually happened Sunday. I posted on Twitter, my YouTube community tab, and I do have a feeling more people are after the card it comes with, so it still get to the cards, that nice Dark Magician stamped with the Adidas promo. Now, Shoe Palace is a retailer, and you also had a random retailer in the UK do this. I'm not a sneakerhead. I don't really know that community, so let me know if this is how drops happen sometimes. Retailers just trying to push it forward and make that sale ahead of other sites, because Adidas last time in the US dropped it through their Confirmed app themselves, and this time it just popped up over here and somebody let me know. That's kind of how I get these updates. People just message me. So if you see them pop up anywhere else, hit me up on Twitter or Discord, and I'll continue to let my audience know, because a ton of people did say thank you for the heads up. I wouldn't have got these without you, and I like to hear that instead of people having to go to the secondary market on them, and instead getting them at a pretty darn nice price, $120, rather than like the 300, 400, 500 people are going to be trying to get. But something that's not out of stock, over on Starlight Grotto, they have updated the scapegoat hats to also have a dad hat. Not everybody wanted the trucker hat, and I do understand. I kind of like that dad hat feel too. Code What's Good 5 for 5% off, and to support the channel directly will get you the color you want. And if you want to opt out of the Ghost Chase version, well, you can make sure to message them in the notes and say, hey, I definitely want this color. I don't want to participate for the gotcha. Understandable. Now get to the cards. I know YouTube messed up its algorithm yesterday and views were kind of crazy. Absolute garbage. I mean, Amazing Defenders dropped. It has a full set list, and I would not touch that set at all, except to buy the singles that you want pretty much directly. Now, if nobody's opening it, want the cards to be super high early on? No, people are going to open this, bust it, burn and turn, and get it out of their hands instead of waiting forever for this to be Ancient Guardians 2.0, which is kind of the correlation people are making on this set. I don't think it's quite that bad, but it's pretty bad. If you want to see my whole review over here, it is on YouTube. And again, the algorithm just destroyed things yesterday for everybody. It like took views away from people. It was so weird. Aluber, the Jester of Despia Ultimate Rare, has been bought out with all that new support coming. Not the biggest surprise. Support equal prices go burr, and it's up towards $58 where it was sitting around 42-ish for the longest. Why didn't Fallen of All Baz jump up even further? Because it just got new support, and it just got bought out, and people don't always do double down, triple down buyouts. I know the double down, triple down, quadruple down's been happening on a ton of cards lately. That's not the norm, even if that's what the coverage has been. Like, you're heading into the meta, you're heading into people preparing, you're heading towards people scrambling, trying to figure out what's ban list safe, or what they're going to be playing for the regional season. So there's a huge clamoring for cards, but on kind of rarity upgrades, more niche things, a double down buyout on new support twice in the same set isn't necessarily going to end up moving a card like that. Incredible Ecclesia is in that same kind of vein, but actually, I think some people pulled their listings, because I remember there being a lot more around 300, and I don't see those $300 sales. I see a ton of 200, and now people actually biting at 283. This could be to try to cause that stampede at the higher price. I'm not sure if these are actual buys or not, but yeah, there's only one more seller at that range before it jumps up about $50, and that's how sparse Starlights can be. Again, when we're talking a specific Starlight, it's 1 out of 10 cases, because a Starlight's 1 out of 2 cases, and you have 5 different ones per set, and there's just not the most of them in the world, even for a widely busted open set like Burst of Destiny. So be aware, Incredible Ecclesia up in price right now, and it does seem there's some sales independently on that. It's either people taking the fees, trying to sell theirs, or somebody scared that it's about to jump $50. Bistal Lubellion, I covered that this was spiking up here. I just want to ask, like, do you really think people are going to be on this deck as is with the updates? Like, I do think the deck is pretty darn good, and this engine is really good. I do wonder how it's going to be moving forward versus all the decks. So let me know if you think Lubellion is worth the price, or do you think it's a little bit bloated versus, you know, the rest of the engine and how the deck plays. We do see that Dark Arm Dragon of Annihilation, thanks to the Discord for catching this one, is up in price for the secret rare. I remember back in my day, whenever people did these buyouts, the jump promos would be the first thing to really go, and while it has lower listings, it's actually lower higher in price than the secret rare. So I guess those days are over of people really putting the jump promo up on the pedestal where even if there was a higher rarity, people bought out the jump promo. The secret rare out of Battles of Legend Armageddon is what's on full buyout mode, and it's back up towards $10 after it was dipping for a bit. This is probably rank 7 Kashtira, always murder the name deck. We also have Maven's Sealed starting to really spike back up. It had spiked and then came back down. I bit my tongue there. It happens. Live editing done cheap by John Moore. But seriously, it went up and I covered that. Then it came back down and I covered that. And now it's kind of just going straight back up, and it's almost to where it is MSRP-ish because most of these listings are around 120, and I believe MSRP for a display is 125. So this may be one of your last chances to get Maven's Cheap and Less Konami Unlimited rewave that, but that would involve multiple moving pieces like them having leftover sleeves or printing the sleeves once again. I don't know that Konami would be doing that for a specific product like this, but it's definitely the ball being in their court, their decision to do unlimited waves. But this is a pretty big success so far, and with reprint sets like this that are really well received by the community, they tend to double and triple in price over time. There's no guarantee that this will track the same way. It's a very unique set, but I definitely do like the set. I am not a financial advisor. I don't know the future of product and prices or if Konami will unlimited wave, and of course there is risk by going in on it, but I do like this sealed. Dinomorphia is getting a little bit of a buyout here. Now everything else is readily stocked and still chill in price out of, Battle of Chaos, Defa, wherever the cards came from. But when it comes to Theresia Starlight, and we just talked about how rare Starlights can be, it was dipping back down. It's had buyouts and hype in the past before. This deck just got a new Solemn Strike, but with the added bonus that you're not dying that turn, and every time you take damage, well, it's going to half that damage, which is what that deck wants to happen. So this card is back up towards 100 and quickly up towards actually almost 200 on the front page. There's not the most of them in the world. I'm guessing some people pulled theirs back or up theirs in price immediately on the news. Dictator of D as well as Ultimate Fusion. I feel like I brought these up before, but I think they were just $1 then. This card is now like almost a $2 plus card consistently for Dictator of D, and Ultimate Fusion is consistently above $1. Whenever we're talking about supers, a lot of them end up as bulk, and we have a reprint clock headed towards Megatons where these would likely get reprints and maybe downgrades, I'm not sure, but for a while that accessibility will likely bring them down in price, or they could even get upgrades. So when it comes to cards like these, definitely consider like looking through your bulk and not just selling them as bulk. They might be worth a little more than you were thinking. Sword Soul, everybody's already covered this today that I've seen just from the YouTube titles. I actually haven't watched videos yet. I'm going to sit that down and look through them after this video. But when it comes to Moyi, it is up, and I click Chijiao, which is also up. I feel like this is ignored by thumbnails, maybe because of the flat line here on the 3-month graph. When you click a month, for some reason it's not so flat. So we do see Chijiao secret rares also starting to really go up there. It does have an ultra rare out of Mavens, I believe. Yes, it does. But people love having secret rares and matching, especially when they're going higher rarity. Flying Pegasus Railroad Stampede's up in price. Is this because of the machine archetype and amazing defenders? I'm not 100% sure. Let me know. That's the only thing that I could think that would immediately spike this. It has a common that's not the most readily accessible. It's actually going down in quantities, but this ultra rare out of a good old legendary duelist season 4, it is spiking up in price. Secret rare generator boss stage also up. I think the lowest are towards $6 now, and I forget if this was one of the short prints or not. I would have to go back and look, but it is starting to go up in price here pretty quickly for the secret. Remember, there is an easy access ultra rare out of Ghost from the past too. And finally, Strike Ninja for you baboomers. I covered this somewhere not too recently, but a bit ago, where I discovered or rediscovered in my head that it has duelist leagues, and I think the red name template goes amazingly with that. But its first edition IOC one is getting another round of buyouts here, where I think it's $50 lowest. That was kind of weird, but the lowest one on the market for first edition is $50, and there's only one of it. So be aware that Strike Ninja is getting rebought out here, I suppose. And when looking through, again, it has plenty of different versions, and I don't know. strike. I hate that when TCG does that. Yeah, you can see it has red, purple, blue, green, starfoil. Let's see if we can get all those on the page. There we go. And when it comes down to it, you do see that price unavailable. It's a ton of light plays, but there's $3 copies if you want kind of a unique take on it with the Duelist League promo, which I do like, but that's not a holo, John. Of course it isn't. But you have the DR2 Ultra, you have the IOC Ultra, which there should be a lot more of the unlimbs running around soon. And that does actually bring up an interesting question. I didn't plan this at all. With the 25th anniversary coming out and the first ed stamp being all more important, how much more do you think that emphasis on first edition LOB through IOC is going to be? I think people may be buying this out preemptively because a ton of people are going to look up those cards and then remember their favorites and maybe head back towards that. Right now the market's cooling on a ton of those, but maybe that's a play that people are making. Let me know in the comment section down below if you think that is something running through certain collectors' heads. I don't necessarily like the bet of a card being more accessible where people will just go ahead and take the cheaper one, but it will have more eyes on these cards no matter what. That does not always translate into dollars spent, but it will definitely have a lot more traction on people looking them up. Thanks for watching today's Market Watch. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed the conversation, and again, let me know what you thought.